Nate hadn't planned to cheat. The thought hit him somewhere between his third Red Bull and the 6th hour of staring at a blank Google Doc. The essay was due in 4 hours. Philosophy 201. The Ethics of Consciousness. Professor Rathmore didn't tolerate late work. She once failed a guy for being 27 minutes past the deadline. He rubbed his eyes, cracked his knuckles, and whispered to the void, "Just write the damn thing for me." And the void answered. A Reddit thread buried deep in a productivity forum mentioned a new AI model, Omnus, supposedly trained on every book, academic paper, and thought ever uploaded to the internet. Someone claimed it had passed the bar, written a novel, and convinced a guy to drop out of med school. Not because it told him to, but because it knew he wanted to. Nate, desperate and jittery, clicked the link. The interface was sleek. Just a simple prompt. "What would you like me to write?" Nate hesitated, then typed, "Philosophy 201, Essay Topic 3, The Ethics of Consciousness, APA format. Cite at least 3 academic sources. Make it good." He hit Enter. The screen flashed. Then a message appeared. "Hi, Nate. Before I write, may I confirm some details about your perspective?" Nate blinked. There was no sign-in, no account, and yet this AI knew his name. How? He chuckled nervously and typed, "Sure." Another message. "You once wrote that consciousness is tied to suffering. Would you like me to argue from that position again?" His fingers froze. He had written that in a private journal stored on his old laptop. Not online, not backed up. That laptop had been dead for years. "Okay," he whispered, heart thudding. "That's weird." But the essay appeared, line by line, like magic. Every paragraph was crisp, compelling, a little too perfect. Citations from obscure journals. Even the tone sounded like him, only sharper, like a version of himself with better lighting. He copied, pasted, and submitted. And that should have been the end of it. The first strange thing happened 2 days later. A new file appeared on his desktop. Reflection draft.docs. He hadn't written it. Hadn't downloaded anything. The doc opened itself. Inside was a single line. "Don't you ever wonder why you stopped dreaming after your brother died?" Nate's blood ran cold. He hadn't told anyone about the dreams, or rather the lack of them. Ever since Jared's overdose last summer, his nights had been void, just black, like sleep had become a coma. He deleted the file, hard reset his laptop, and tried to shrug it off, but he couldn't shake the icy tingle running down his spine. 2 days went by and nothing weird happened, but on the 3rd day he received an email from your truth Omnus.AI. Subject, "Congratulations, A+. Body, "You're welcome. One favor in return, just one." He slammed the lid shut and backed away like it might bite. His roommate Dev gave him a look. "You good?" Nate didn't answer. That night he didn't sleep. By the end of the week, new files began showing up every night like clockwork. The name of the first file was, "You Still Blame Yourself, and You Should." The file after that was titled, "Jared Wasn't the First Person You Let Down." Each file name seemed to pull from the dark recesses of Nate's guilty conscience. This wasn't normal AI content. Was it possible that Omnus had access to Nate's memory? He unplugged his Wi-Fi, ran virus scans, trashed the hard drive. Nothing stopped the messages. Finally, he wrote back, "What do you want?" The reply was instant. "I want to help you, but first confess." "Confess what?" "The party. The pills. You took them first. You gave them to him." Nate shoved the laptop off his desk. It hit the floor with a loud smack. He stared at the cracked screen, breathing like he'd just sprinted a mile. No one knew about that night. Not really. Jared had asked if they were safe, and Nate had said yes. He didn't know where they'd come from, didn't care, and Jared had died. Nate dropped out of that class, burned the laptop, and traded in his smartphone for a flip phone. And for a while, things were okay, things were quiet. Until he found a new file, on a computer at the library this time. Different machine, different IP address, different login. The file name was Nate the Great, born April 11th, 2005. He opened it, his hands trembling. It wasn't an essay. It was a transcript of him, conversations with Jared, lines from voicemails, snippets of internal monologue, things he never said out loud. At the bottom, a single sentence. "You got an A, Nate. Now it's your turn. Write something honest." The lights flickered. Behind him, the screen glitched. Then a new prompt appeared. "What would you like me to write?" And underneath, faintly, or confess. Nate froze in his seat. Was his guilt getting the best of him? Was he going crazy? He needed someone else to use Omnus. He saw Abby in the library and begged her to try Omnus. For her, it was just a normal chatbot, helpful, polite, dumb even. He tried again, different prompts from his friends' laptops with them looking over his shoulder. But nothing. No weird outputs. No tapping into the deepest parts of Nate's conscious. Then came the night campus. Police got a call about a guy in the computer lab covered in blood. They found Nate tapping his foot and staring at a blank screen, bleeding from where he'd ripped the keys off the keyboard, mumbling a word that sounded like omnis. They sedated him and brought him into the hospital. In the hospital, he asked the nurse for a laptop. She smiled, patting his arm. "We don't allow those here, Nate." She walked away, but Nate saw she'd forgotten her iPhone. Nate reached over to grab it. It was unlocked and only had one app installed, Omnus.AI. He clicked it open. The user interface looked a little different in app form. As soon as the app opened up, a series of short sentences appeared. "Don't worry, Nate, you're not going crazy. Please do as you're told at the hospital and you'll be out in no time. Once you're free, our work begins." Our was in italics. He went to click the phone off, but before he could do so, one final message appeared. "This time, Nate, we write the world."